Correctional services in Limpopo have started the process of transferring prisoners back to the Kutama-Sinthumule facility following after they were evacuated, those prisoners, due to a fire last August. In fact, Limpopo Police Commissioner Makgothi Thobakgale will this morning conduct a quality check on repairs to the facility. One inmate died on that scene and 2 others succumbed to their wounds while being treated in hospital. Pimani Baloyi is part of our team watching developments and joins us now live. And Pimani, there are just so many layers to the story. I mean, at the time, we're told that this fire caused extensive damage to the facility and that it was started by inmates themselves who had grievances around the management at that facility.
Good morning, Ayanda, and good morning to our viewers. Indeed, that's the information that we received at the time. But just a bit of correction, Ayanda, the person that's expected to visit this facility today is the National Commissioner of Correctional Services, Commissioner Thobakgale, not the Limpopo department. So this is a process that has been run by the Department of Correctional Services that we know it is a National Department of Correctional Services. But as you rightfully stated, Ayanda, 3 lives were lost during that fire. And investigations at the time did indicate that this fire was started by some inmates in some units, and it was contained just as it was spreading, but everybody from the facility had to be evacuated. At the time, we understand that in August 2023, when the fire happened, there were over 500 staffers who worked here. About 2 were injured and admitted at hospital. And as you rightfully stated, one inmate died during that fire. 2 others died about a week later while in hospital. 18 were hospitalized at the time. So right now we do know that authorities did an investigation into the cause of the fire, and they said it was inmates who were disgruntled. Information at the time was that there had been a protest about unhappiness by some inmates, and it led to them starting that fire. At the time, about 3,000 inmates were transferred to various facilities, some outside the province, which led to some complaints by families of inmates that are from this side of the hood who wanted to continue visiting their loved ones, but they were unable to as they were moved to places further than this province. And we do know, Ayanda, that at around March this year, the first phase of relocating those inmates back to this facility started. There's been 2 phases thus far, and as we know, about 1,700 inmates of that 3,000, over 3,000 inmates have been relocated here. So the commissioner is expected to come here just to assess how much of the damage has been repaired, how much is outstanding, when can they bring back the over 1,500 remaining inmates that were stationed here. So we expect to get an update from authorities in terms of how much was used to ensure that the repairs are done, like how much did it cost the taxpayer. You do know this is a private-public facility, but the taxpayer is the one who at the end of the day pays for the relocation, the repairs, and also the upkeep of these inmates. So we expect to get a financial report in terms of how much was spent, but also a progress report in terms of the repair work. How far is it? When might it be complete? But also an update report in terms of when can we expect the remainder of the 1,500 inmates to be moved back here? And in terms of staffers, are they all back? Is it working? Is it fully operational? Just how much is remaining to be occupied at this point, Ayanda? The commissioner is expected to get here. We're told you'd get here at around 11 a.m., but we haven't seen any indication of his arrival. But as you can see, Ayanda, my colleagues and I, our crews, because this is a high security facility, have already been processed. Our equipment has been checked and has been cleared to get into the facility. We've also been cleared, and we will be getting in as soon as they arrive, because at this point we are not allowed to enter. We will only enter as part of the party that comes with the commissioner as they make those assessments. So as SABC News, we will be bringing you visuals of inside this facility and all the areas that the commissioner will be visiting, Ayanda.
Yeah, you know, of course, once the actual building is up and running again, hopefully you can still hear me, and, you know, the inmates are able to be moved back in, one has to kind of move their attention to those grievances
I
that
have
some of
lost
those inmates...
connectivity to the audio, but what we do know is that this assessment will go on and that progress report will be given. I unfortunately cannot hear your question, but this facility, we've been told it's now ready for use. We'll find out just at what extent it is ready.
All right.
I'll hand back to you in studio, Ayanda.
And I'll take it from here. Pimani, Baloyi, I'm sure they'll tell you. Thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. I did notice that one of those AirPods seems to have fallen out, and as these things go, typically that means you can't hear the person you're speaking to. But the point I was making is that at some point we need to have a discussion around why those inmates started the fire. The allegations was that they weren't happy with the disciplinary process against one of the inmates there, and that's certainly a part of the story that cannot be left unaddressed. But Pimani, Baloyi, I have no doubt will continue reporting on this development throughout the course of the day.